All right, guys. So we've got a lot going on here. So we've got the ability now to add items to our college list. We can delete them. All right. So now the next thing we're going to talk about is how if you want to like reorder the information. So basically click and drag. So if if you're going to rank these out or anything like that, we can change that up. Okay. So to do that. All right, we're going to go through, as always, just kind of take you through the steps here. All right, we're going to add to our existing college app here. So we got a few main steps to do here, but I think you'll find yourself able to do this here. And, again, let's just get right to it. All right, so why don't we start on the storyboard? Okay, go to our main storyboard here. So right now we've got our add button. So we got to do a similar thing here where we need to add a new bar button item, but we're going to put it on the left side here. So let's go ahead and grab another bar button item, place it on the left here. And now this time though, unlike the first one, we're not going to use one of their kind of default or kind of templates here, so to speak. We're going to actually change this to say the word edit. So what you need to do, just make sure it's selected. It's got the blue background to it. Come over to the attributes inspector, bar item title, and let's just change that to the word edit. Okay, so again, there is a custom edit option. All right, but for right now though, I want you to change the title and edit, and that'll make more sense in a moment here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hook that edit thing up to an outlet and an action for this one. Okay, so let's do the outlet first. So let's control drag from it. Let's put our outlet up top here, and we'll just call this edit button. And then notice the types UI bar button item, connect it. All right, and then let's go ahead and we're going to put the action for this one. We've got a lot of stuff going on here, so we just want to kind of keep things. Let's put it right below the add button pressed. All right, so again, we'll kind of keep those grouped together. So we'll drag to right here, right after the add button pressed. Change that to an action for me, and then we'll just call this is editing. And we'll call it is edit button. Okay, and we'll go ahead and we will connect that. Okay, so that's all we had to do out on the storyboard. So we just added our bar button item there. Okay, now we're going to go to the code. All right, again, what we're trying to do is we want to get our our text view, the ability for the user to kind of swipe and move items around here and reorganize. Okay, so we got a couple things to do that. So let's scroll down and let's go to our is edit button action that we just created. All right, we got to basically make the table view. We got to give it the ability to have edits done to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call our college table view table that we made earlier. Then we're going to call the is editing bool function to that function of property. Excuse me. Okay, and then we're going to set that equal to college view with the exclamation meaning not. All right, so basically this is just going to kind of toggle things on and off. So again, if it's basically kind of back and forth. Is editing, is not editing, is not editing, is editing. Remember, that's what this exclamation point means here. It means not. It's the not operator. Okay, so now next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this to toggle between edit and done. So what I mean by that is when we click the edit button, it should change to done, so then the user knows that, okay, I'm done, they can click done. We just, that when we run it, you'll see what I'm talking about here. But this is just, it was a good feature to add here. So we're going to use a switch statement. We used these before here. So to get that going, let's just type out the word switch. All right, and if you want, you can just hit return there, just bring up this kind of template here, and then we got to determine what are we going to switch on here. All right, so we're going to switch on the college view table view, and then the is editing. So it's either going to be true or false. All right, again, we're switching back and forth between is editing, is not editing, is editing, is not editing, kind of going back and forth. So we got to set up our different cases here. So there's only two cases in this one. It's either true, okay. And then if that's the case, if it is true, okay, we want the edit button. So again, that's the outlet we made earlier, dot title, all right, to equal done. Okay, so if we are editing, we want the button to say done. Okay, the next case is going to be false, and that's going to say edit button dot title is going to equal to edit. All right, so if it's not editing, we want the no click here. We are not going to need a default case because this one there's no way that you use that default like just in case, well, we didn't hit any conditions, so run this thing. In this case, it can only be true or false. It can be one or the other. There's not like a gray area where they could say maybe I want to edit. This is either I'm done editing or I need to edit. Okay, so that's why we don't need that default break statement on the bottom of that one. Okay, so that's the first part. So again, inside our action, again, so first thing we got to set college table view dot is editing, and then just kind of get that flipping back and forth between editing and not editing. and then the switch statement will make that button change here. Okay. So now we got a couple more things to do. All right, we got some table view methods. So since we're going to be working with table view, let's go in here and we're going to scroll down, and we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 sections going right now. The last thing we did is we added the ability to delete the row. So we're going to go right below that one. Okay, and then these are the functions needed to move items in a table. Okay, so just to kind of keep that nice and organized for you. So the first thing we're going to look for is something called can move row at index path is what we're looking for here. Okay, so we're going to be looking, when you start typing in can move, you've got 2 options here. Very important that when you choose one, you want to make sure that, again, we have the override on top of that. Okay. Excuse me. You'll notice that we'll even get that error message. So if you choose the wrong one, when you hit enter, you just get funk. You can just type in override, and then that'll go away. Okay. Or when you're typing can move, all right, if you choose the one that oh, I did the wrong one there again. Let me just get the right one here. So when it can move, okay, so this top one, okay, when I go ahead and click that one, this one comes built in with the override one, you're okay. So just double check that it says override at the start here. All right, if you do, you're good to go. Okay, so all this one is basically saying is that it's called can move row at index path, and it returns a bool. So basically, we just need to return yes or no, or do we want to give, the ability to move the rows in this one, and we do. So we're just going to type in return true. Okay, so that's okay. We're going to give that kind of is the first feature we need to turn on here. Okay, the next thing is we got to start moving this stuff around. So how do we do that? All right, so the next and last table view function that we need is one that's called move row. Let's see here. What's going to be the best way to move that? Move row at. Okay, and then just if you type that in, we're going to start seeing a couple functions right here that say move row at. Okay, so again, we want the one that says override. Generally, that should be the top one out of the 2. Okay, but you'll notice again when we do that, just double check that it says override. If you click the one that just had funk, no worries, just type in override, and that will eliminate any errors you may have. Okay, so now in here, okay, again, this one's not returning anything. We just have to basically set up kind of the chain of commands here, kind of what's moving to where and how do we set that all up here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new constant called let selected college. So that's going to mean basically the item we select in the table view will be selected college. And that's good. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove it. So the first one we're going to click, we're going to remove it from its current spot. So we got to remove something from an array. Okay, so similar to what we did up here when we deleted, let's do that again down here. So we're going to go colleges. Again, looking for the array we made, colleges dot remove. Okay, and then at. So for the at here, we want to take away because we don't know exactly where they're going to be clicking. So we're just going to take away the source index path dot row. All right, so that'll basically, it can be any of the rows in our table, and it'll be fine. The next thing we need to do is we need to, when we let go, is we have to insert it in its new location. So now we're going to go colleges, the array dot insert, and then we're going to use this top one here, this new element. Okay, so what do we want to insert in the new spot? We want to insert the new college, or the selected college. So we're going to type in selected college here, and then where? It's something called destination index path, which is right here. Okay, so we're going to type that here, destination index path dot row. Okay, so let's take a peek here and see how this app looks when we load it up. All right, but again, so this is some pretty cool stuff here, and again, it's a nice feature on a table view, so the user can, maybe they're using this for college, they can rank them. This is my top choice, second choice, and third, and so on. But again, we'll show you how that works here once this thing opens up. And again, I know on your computers the simulator is slow, but please check, run things, get the class simulator, just double check that things are working, because obviously if you turn it in and it's not loading up here, that could be, that's not something I want to see have happen to you here. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's our college list. So when I click edit, you'll notice that this filters over to done. All right, and then we get some different things here. On the right, you can see it's got these kind of handles. These are what we can grab. And as I click on one, I can start dragging around and moving it. Okay, and if you see there's it's pretty cool. All right, it kind of moves around. These circles, all right, I can click on that. Another way I can delete information. Okay, so when I'm in this view, I can't swipe. But then when I'm done, I just click done, and it goes back to edit, and I get my college list here. All right, so a pretty neat way to do that. Okay, again, my add feature still works here. I can still add in a new school. All right, Lakes is now a college. Okay, so that's included on the list here. And again, once I click edit, again, I can move stuff around. Okay, again, now when you do that, you'll notice if you're wondering how low can you go, they will kind of cap you in terms of how many rows are in there, so you can't like say, I really don't like this school and drag it all the way to the bottom. All right, but again, once you're in the editing mode, you can delete, you can move around, and when you're done, you click done, and that toggles back to edit. So again, it's signifying that, hey, you can enter editing mode because you're not in there now. So pretty neat. Okay, so from here, again, now, as I'm looking at it here, when we click on our rows here, we can highlight it, but it's gray. So why don't we do this here? Well, why don't we finish up this video just by showing you how you can change the color of that background. That might be something you'd want to do. And this won't take too long. So let's go ahead and, no, we're not going to go to Chrome there. We're going to go to Xcode. And let's add that in here, okay? So this is going to go back into kind of the original function here, self-erode index path. And we just need to configure the cell to do that. So we're going to change background color. Okay, so to do that, we got 3 lines of code. So first thing is, we're going to create a constant called background view, and we're going to make that of type UI view. Okay. Now, okay, we got to determine what do we want the background color to be. So we're going to go background view dot background color, and then this is up to you. You can set that to whatever color you would like. I'll just go red. All right. And then the third thing is we have to set the background view to go inside the cell. All right, so if we go cell, remember this is from the beginning when we set up our cell to, again, that's in our table view. And then we go dot selected background view. And if we set that equal to background view, it's going to be red when you select it. All right, so let's give it a shot here and see how that one looks. And then from there, we're pretty much good to go on this app here, guys. All right, let's check our last piece of the equation here. Alright, things are loading up. We got the simulator. Moment of truth here. Hopefully it works. So I'm about to go back and redo this stuff here. Okay, so there we go. So when I click on one, again, now instead of being that gray color, it's a red one. So again, you could change that, or to a different color. But again, all features still work. When you delete one and then you click done, and it's still going to be red for you. So good stuff. All right, so again, I'll have a couple kind of extra challenges for you to see if you can figure out. But again, by way of videos, this is the last one for our college list. So again, your goal should be to have everything working that you see on this view right here. You can add the college in there. Okay, you can, and that puts it into our view here. I can swipe and delete. All right, you can make red, and then I can go ahead and reorder if I'd like to as well. You got all that. You're looking good, okay? And then the extras, the kind of the extra challenges here would be some extra credit for you to try to figure out, okay? So as always, you're taking your time with it. Rewatch parts of the video if you need to. Ask for help in class here as much as you need to. All right, but you got a pretty cool looking app going here, so good job completing it. And then stay tuned for some of those extra credit challenges. All right, guys.